GettyJeffrey Lewis, from the Middlebury Institute of International Studies at Monterey, stated that Kim Jong-un is pursuing nuclear weapons in a desperate attempt to ward off the might of the US and has been encouraged by the examples of Iraq and Libya. He said, Kim Jong-un, I think, is fearful of ending up like Saddam Hussein and Muammar Gaddafi. He is terrified that we will do to him what we did to them, and has decided that nuclear weapons are the best way to ward that off. Mr. Lewis emphasized the difficulty in assuring the despot leader that signing a deal on nuclear weapons, after the invasion of Iraq in 2003, would be beneficial. GettyJeffrey Lewis stated that Kim Jong-un has been encouraged by examples of Iraq and Libya. He explained, how do you assure the North Koreans when they sign a deal, that they don't end up like Saddam, because Saddam had actually given them the weapons of mass destruction, and we still went ahead and said he had them, and we still went ahead and invaded Iraq. They realized they had to find a way to convey to Pyongyang that, if they went ahead and gave up their nuclear program, we would invade them. However, Mr. Lewis added that George W. Bush attempted to show the U.S. commitment to a potential deal by pointing to the example of Libya. Wednesday, January 17, 2018, crowds of weeping women applaud Kim Jong-un as he visits the remodeled college. He claimed, I know why they did it at the time. It was the right decision. But we had a disarmament deal with that guy. We told the North Koreans to go look at how well things had worked out with Libya, and then we turned around and toppled the Libyan government. Mr. Lewis added that this is an example of Kim Jong-un doing everything he can do to protect himself, as he described the leader as not crazy. He went on, he is not crazy. He has consolidated control over the country in a very effective and ruthless manner. He's just willing to do really terrible things to protect himself, which I think tells us something about the credibility of their nuclear threat. If I were Kim Jong-un, I would want nuclear weapons, too. The nuclear expert used the parallel of China that set off a nuclear device in 1964 to demonstrate how nuclear weapons can help foster better relations between two nations. He declared, if you had gone into Lyndon Johnson's office in October 1964 and said, the Chinese are about to test a nuclear weapon, he would have said, that's terrible. But if you would have then said, no, it's great. This is really going to improve Chinese security, and as a consequence of that, China is going to reorient its foreign policy, and they're going to become anti-Soviet and pro-American, and we're going to have a diplomatic relationship with them. The nuclear expert used the parallel of China to explain how nuclear arms can help foster relations. Johnson would have asked you, really, what president is going to go to China and meet with Mao Zedong? And you would have said, Richard Nixon. Then he would have thrown you out of its office and said you were an idiot. However, the nuclear experts stated that North Korea would need to want better relations with the US for nuclear weapons to have a chance of being beneficial. He went on, the reason it happened is that the people who wanted nuclear weapons in China also wanted a better relationship with the United States. GettyMR Lewis claimed that Kim Jong-un is doing everything he can do to protect himself. It is possible that the North Koreans will take the security they are given by these weapons and spend it on being awful, sinking more South Korean ships, shelling more South Korean islands, initiating more crises. It will depend on how the North Koreans choose to act now that they have this capability. They could be easier to get along with, they could worsen. I don't want to be optimistic, because it could really, truly go either way. North Korea could become more aggressive, North Korea could become less aggressive. But we should wait and see.